Happy Homebrew Wednesday. So we'll start things off. Had a visit with Mash Paddle. Went down to his neck of the woods. I know he posted a video about it already, so you've already heard the story, or if you haven't. Anyway, went down to his neck of the woods. He lives probably about an hour and a half away from me, out west of where I live, and I'm a little jealous. He's got farmland, he's got chickens, he's got a barn, he's got a cool Mustang. I didn't get to see it, it was under the tarp. He's got a electric grain crusher. I think it's like a deer meat grinder or meat mixer that his father-in-law talked him into hooking up to some electricity and crushing grain. And he said that it was so powerful when he first did it that he said it went off, came back, and it had blown grain all over the garage. But anyway, he came to see me back when I had neck surgery a little over a year ago. Brought me a case of beer, and we hung out. He drove all the way down here. I was sitting for like a month on my ass after having surgery, going out of my mind, and he brought down a case of beer because I obviously couldn't brew anything. And we went to a local pizza joint. I showed him my brewery back here, and so he returned the favor. So, but to start things off, one of the things that we did while we were down there is he found a DC Brau. He had never had a DC Brau beer before, and I told him that the Corruption was a really good house IPA that I usually keep some on stock. So convinced him to pick up a 6-pack of that, and I think he's already sampled the wares. So remember that I had one in the back of my beverage refrigerator. So let's go ahead and start this Homebrew Wednesday off right. Now, if I'm on my game, I'll get to today's Tuesday. Actually, it was a snow day. Wait, cheers. Love the Corruption, but Mash, it's not as good as that Hop Sneeze IPA we had. And so I'll talk a little bit about my visit. A couple of things I want to talk. I've got to try to squeeze this into 15 minutes. So we started out by going to this local, actually let's call it local. I forget what he said the name of it was, like Backroom Brewery or something like that. I'll show a video of it right here. Hey, BrewTubers. Heading this fine Sunday morning to go see a good friend of mine, Mash Paddle, and I'm bringing him some goodies. Only about an hour and a half drive. Should be fun. Cheers. Got to beat the snow. Hey, happy Homebrew Wednesday. We're here in Mash Paddle's neck of the woods at Backroom Brewery. He's hosting me here on a nice, not cold Sunday afternoon, although that's going to change in the next 24 hours. But this cool place they grow their own hops. I think this is one of the little hop farms they have. And then we just had, over here in their tasting room, several really good beers, like a flight of beers, and they use a lot of herbs and other kind of cool stuff. I don't have this kind of setup in DC, so I'm kind of jealous with Mash.
He walked in, it's basically a little shack. You got a little shack with 4 walls and a roof, and you walk in and it's log cabin based. And you would not expect a little pub inside when you walked in, but this is second time I've been here. It's not bad. It's
got
actually,
damn good beer.
Yeah, pretty good. It's weird beer. I mean, like he said, a lot of basil, herbs. What was the red IPA he said he used?
He said he used red basil. I thought he used red X, but he used red basil somehow. Anyway, but anyway, pretty cool. So I guess we're going.
We're going to hit Ale Station next in Winchester on the downtown walking mall. And then from there, we're going to go to Winchester Brew Works. And if he's not too impaired, we're going to hit a Scutcheon. And he's got to have their Kolsch. So
I don't think we're going to get that far.
Yeah, if we don't, we're going to stop at the bottle shop and grab him a 6-pack so he can take one home.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah. All right, cheers, guys.
See ya.
Okay, hopefully you saw that video of the brewery. Anyway, that place was really, really cool. You went in there. They had probably about, 10 taps or so. And all their beers, they use different herbs and stuff, and they were really good. I had a little flight of that. The next place he took me to was Ale Station Brewery, and while we were there, we had pizza. They have like a wood-fired pizza place downstairs, and you can drink upstairs. And they've got the brewery system like right there.
if you're in here at the right time, you can watch your beer being brewed while you drink it.
That's cool. Say hi.
Hello, YouTube.
Had some pizzas and had this really awesome IPA called Hop Sneeze IPA. It was the cloudiest IPA I've ever drank. It was also one of the best smell. I mean, it was taste-wise, it was awesome, but aroma-wise, it was probably the best IPA I've ever smelled. I'm not kidding. It's like if I was to, rip open a bag of hops, rip that thing open and just smell it. That's exactly what the IPA. I don't know how they must use hop extract. What's it called? Hop extract or hop something, where they take the hop oil and you put it in. I'll bet you they did that, because I've never smelled an IPA that was that like it was like it was like you were smelling a bag of hops. It was really good. Had one of those. I would have loved to have two, but I had to drive. So anyway, then we went to this Escutcheon. I got the can here. Escutcheon Brewery, and he told me I had to have their Kolsch, and I got the Kolsch and the lager. Like Mash said, the Kolsch was freaking. I don't even like Kolsch's. I mean, it's not a beer that I would go hunt out. But I had this thing with dinner the other night, and it was like, I mean, really fruity, really clean, awesome beer. It was kind of like my my wake up to IPAs. That was my wake up to Kolsch's. So I get it. I get it what a Kolsch is supposed to do, and I'm sure that's a good example. So we went back there and we saw and I'll probably show some pictures here. Back of the brewery, but we ran into the brewer, and I don't think he recognized Mash, and so I start hitting the guy up. Hey man, this is the cleanest brewery I've ever seen. You've got all your hoses stacked away, and the guy's like, okay, great, thank you. He's probably like, who the hell is this guy talking to me, and why does he care? Why does he think I care what he thinks of how clean I keep my brewery and all that? But it was fun. It was a cool brewery. It looked, and they must be doing well, because there were a buttload of empty cans, and he explained that all these cans. First, I thought they were full, but then I was like, well, that's kind of dangerous. If they fall off, it'll hurt somebody. But they were all empty cans. He had to do a minimum order, and he was explaining why he had all the cans back there. And then he had this cool like egg concrete fermentation vessel that he's going to use for. I think he's going to use it for wild ales, because something with the concrete breeze, and he puts the bugs in and all that. So then we swung by a bottle shop. Went to downtown Winchester, which is this really cool like Civil War era town. Beautiful. It was a beautiful day. It was cold, but it was a beautiful day. And swung by this bottle shop there. Went to another bottle shop, and then ended up going to his homebrew supply store, where I picked up some brewing supplies that I was going to do a brew day today, but I ended up getting involved in online work projects, so spent several hours doing that, so I didn't get around to brewing. But I'm going to brew on this Saturday. So if anybody's brewing on Saturday, hit me up. I'll be around. Probably start in the morning sometime. So we hit his homebrew supply store. I was able to pick up the yeast and the malt that I needed, and then we called it a day. It was a lot of fun. Great visit. Thanks again, Mash, for having me out there. It's cool having BrewTube viewers that are within driving radius of me. Still need to get down and see, or have these guys come up and see me, Larry and Larry Lentz and Dan Follett down in Virginia Beach, and then SJ Pour is not too far north from me. And there's a new brewer that I met on the BrewTube channel named Mike Williams. So he's I sent him off some beer. He was looking for some beer mail on BrewTube, so I said, hey, I've already got some ready to go. So I shipped him off some beer mail, and I hope he enjoys it. But anyway, yeah, it was just cool getting out and seeing a fellow BrewTuber. I'm gonna miss seeing all you guys down at National Homebrew Competition, because the wife and I and the kids are gonna go to Europe into June, so I can't swing, heading to Minnesota, and then is it Minnesota? I think it is, and then week or so later going to London and Scotland. So Sorry guys, I think last time I was there is like a flat Stanley. I'm sure, you know, maybe my picture will pop up again. Anyway, enough about that. Oh, and by the way, this guy Mike Williams, he's a new BrewTuber. If I think to remember, I'll put his channel down here in the bottom. If you haven't been to his channel, go check him out. Let's get him going. He's got a pretty cool brew setup. He's got a homemade bar. He's got like a triple tap system. He hasn't done any pictures yet, I don't think, of his brew setup, but anyway, he's getting back into brewing and he's very inspired right now, so go check out his channel and get him going. I'm sure he's going to be putting some really good content up there. And he's a fellow Army guy like me, so hooah. All right, a couple of topics I want to talk about. So first of all, I have an office mate who, in his spare time, is a gourmet coffee roaster. And so he gives me 3 bags of, and look how bloated this thing is. He explained to me this is Ethiopian coffee roast. He also gave me New Guinea and Brazilian, 3 different 6-ounce bags of coffee roast. He explained that I guess the beans let off a gas, and so if you don't, you know, leave some room in there, it could blow up the bag. But I think this thing has expanded all it's going to. But it's pretty tight, man. If I was to clap this thing, it would pop. So I have 6 ounces of this, 6 ounces of New Guinea, and 6 ounces of Brazilian coffee roast. So talking to Mash Paddle, I think, you know, this is the year, if you didn't get my first episode of the year, I think I said this is a year of collaboration brews and brewing other people's stuff. So I've already brewed Gary Layton's Vernal Equinox. I'm going to rebrew that on Saturday using the proper Galaxy yeast, which you might have saw I pulled out of the fridge. And that was the yeast I picked up at, and the melanoidin malt, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Down when I was seeing Mash Paddle. So anyway, I think Mash and I are gonna, you know, I just did a collaboration beer with Tyler from Everdy Home Brewing. I've got that thing on the keg. It's gonna be sitting for a couple of weeks. So anyway, once he gets synced up, so I don't get to sit in condition for a while, and once we're ready, we're gonna, you know, taste each other's beers and probably put out some videos and probably shoot some beer fairies out to some of you guys. But I have to say, I've tasted it. It's a very tasty beer. So he's going to tweak his a little bit different than mine, than what I did. But anyway, so Mash and I are going to do, I think, try to do a short-term collaboration where we do a pale ale, and we'll have some ingredients. I just kind of gave you a hint. And then we're going to do a long-term beer, and I'll kind of keep that a secret. I also had a very cool shipment that came in. I was getting jealous from Tyler's beer caps, so I decided to go get some new beer caps. How you like that, huh? Very happy. I'm so excited to send these out. You get excited over the little stuff doing this hobby. So last thing I'll talk about is melanoidin malt. I don't know if any of you guys have used melanoidin malt. I'm sure you have. I think I may have used it a long time ago when I first started out brewing in like a stout or something. I probably used it. Wow, the sun is like killing me. I probably used it not the way you're supposed to use it because I didn't know any better. I mean, that was back when I was doing Warflock and Irish Moss, not realizing that you're doubling up. But anyway, I did some reading on melanoidin. Actually, I did the Gary Layton Vernal Equinox recipe, and it called for, I think, about a half a pound of melanoidin. So I put that in, and then when I tasted the Vernal Equinox for the first time, it had that really cool, malty, you know, fruity quality that I really, really dig in pale ales and double red ales, and, you know, if you had Nosferatu from Great Lakes, there's this really distinct, and I'm almost positive now that Great Lakes uses melanoidin malt in the Nosferatu. But anyway, there's this really distinct kind of fruity maltiness, and I think that it's coming from melanoidin malt. Now, you're only supposed to use a little of this because it makes up for a lot of maltiness, and it has a very distinct flavor, and you can overshoot it. If you put more than, I think, somewhere between 5 and 10%, you'll kind of overshoot your, you know, what you're looking for in your beer. It'll be too much. But you get just the right amount, and I think it does wonderful things. I know Tyler was, Mash was tasting my Vernal Equinox, and he was trying to say, you know, I was like, I can't put my finger on what this is, but I think that's what it was. So curious about your comments, what your experiences are with melanoidin malts. Have yourself a happy homebrew, and have a very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.